Hello world, and welcome back to the Scratch tutorial. Today we're going to be going over motion and different sprites. So to start off, let's get a control block. So when our flag here is clicked, let's go back to motion. I find this kind of useless because you do have your set X and change X, and that's essentially the same thing. Moving 10 steps to the right is like moving 10 of these X values. So see here, right here in the bottom corner, we have our X and Y values. And I'm going to try and get them the very center, but it's somewhere in the center of this output. And then, so what it's going to do, if it's changing X by this number, it's going to move this sprite, say 10 this way and this way. So I can move around the sprite. So that's basic moving. So now what I can do is turn functions. They're also, it basically turns the sprite, and this is where you can say what part of the sprite is forward. So this blue line, I can rotate it around, and as you can see, I can move it. So now it's pointing in direction 90. That's the turn. Then there's also point in direction. So it's pointing that direction. This is turning, say, 15 degrees clockwise, like that. Turning 15 degrees counterclockwise. Point towards. This is if you want to say, I want this to point towards my mouse pointer. So when I click flag, just put this in a forever loop. So then I don't have to keep clicking. But as you can see, now when I move, it will always point the sprite in the direction of my mouse pointer. And that's useful if you want to do like games and such. So let's make this back to 90 degrees. And let's take that out again. Let's go back to motion. Here we have go to this certain coordinate. So say I want this to go to, currently it's on X0 and Y13. So if I want it to go to, say, what's the limits of this? So if I want it to say go here, I can see that the X coordinate is 100 and the Y coordinate is 70 down here. So X coordinate 100, Y coordinate 70. So now when I click the flag, it'll go to that certain coordinate on this plane. That's the go towards, or go to that X value. I can also say go to mouse pointer. So now, if I put this into a loop, stop it, get in there, put it inside the loop, and now, wherever I move my mouse, this sprite will follow it. And now, stop it. Okay, so that's the go-to function. And you can also have, if you create another sprite, there could be other go-tos. This is glide, so if I want to, let's take it out of this forever loop. So say I want this sprite to go to here down in the corner. I'll look at my X and Y value. And I want it to go to negative 147, negative 46. No, negative 147, and then negative 46. Negative 46. Now, it's going to glide in that amount of time to that point, so like that. Now, I can also say, let's put it back somewhere in a place. So if I say 3 seconds, it'll go slower. So now, it'll take 3 seconds to go to that point. Next is change X by. This is what we're going to use for if we want to change our X values, which is this motion here, to some number. So if this isn't, however, this isn't the set function. This is the change X by. So this will make it move, say if I wanted a positive 10, it'll move positive 10 this way. Or if I want negative 10, it'll move negative 10 this way. So now when I click the flag, it'll move 10 x values this way. And as you can see, the x value is currently 19. So if I click this, it becomes 29. Let's change x. Set x is if I want to say move this and I don't want it to move there. I want it to go there immediately. So say my x is 29 now. Let's make it go to negative 30. I don't know. So now when I click the flag, it'll go to x point negative 30. Let's see, change y. Change y is essentially the same thing as change x, except now what I have is it's moving along the y-axis here. So if I want to move positive 10, it'll move positive 10 y values that way, but if I want it negative 10, it'll move negative 10 values that way. So we can say change x by 8, I don't know. And as we can see, it changes the y values by 8, and it adds that to the current y value. So now negative 8, say, now when we click our flag, it moves negative 8. So now this should turn into negative 8. There we go. That's change y by. Set y is the exact same as set x, except it's on the y-axis. So now I can say I want my y to be 20, or 30, sorry. Something random, 26. Then now when I click this, it'll go to that y coordinate on that. Or if I want to go to negative 17, I can now go to negative 17 on this. Next is this. This is sort of if this sprite is moving, if it's touching the edge here, if it's on the edge, it's going to bounce off. Not necessarily if it's coming in from this direction, it will bounce off that way. But if it's coming in vertical, it'll come back. So it'll go back the way it came if it's on the edge. So let's see if we can do this. So let's go to move, set, change x. No, change. Let's do change y. Change y by, what number do we want to change it? Let's say, so here we have this, and we want it to bounce off here. So, excuse me. So this is negative 180 right here. So let's say we want to change it by, let's put this all in a loop. So now, forever loop, loop. Now, when the flag is clicked, it'll continue to move. See, and it's bouncing, as you can see. Because right there, that bounce there. Now, if on edge bounce, that's that. Now we have another part of this, which is x position and y position and direction. So if I want to say move these little round pieces go inside these little input bubbles. So if I want change x by my x position, that's going to say I want to change my x by negative 9 because that's my current x position. So these are essentially just variables. So now when I click this, it'll move it negative that, and I'll start moving it more and more because my x values get bigger, so it's almost exponential. There it is, exponential. That's that. Now we can also say none. Now it doesn't necessarily have to be in a change y by. These pieces can go into anything. So if I want to say point in direction this, and I want my Y position here, so point in what my Y position, so it'll point in direction 13 degrees. So now when I click this, it'll point at 13 degrees. There we go. So now that's the Y position. Now direction is what this is here. Direction is 13 at this point. Let me set it back to 90 degrees. There we go. So now what I can say is this. So now when I click this on here. Now when I click this, that's not point in direction, yes. Let's not use this. Let's use change X by what my direction is. So my direction is 90, so it'll change my X by 90. So if I change, say, the direction to 36, now it'll change my X by 36, because that's my direction. And anyways, that's the motion tab, and that's all I got for you. Bye-bye.